Hi, love flowers. So, tonight we will be talking about the root chakra. And I don't know if you noticed, but I'm trying something a little bit different tonight. I'm doing a change of scenery, so I'm actually recording in the living room, and I hope you like it. Right next to the fireplace, and um, I actually have a little bit of quiet tonight, so it's gonna be nice to have a little bit of a change of scenery. So hope you enjoy it, but let's get started. So, of course, I've taken my notes to stay on task. And so some basic understandings about the root chakra or Mulandhara is it is our base chakra. There's actually more than 7 chakras, but most people are familiar with 7 chakras only. So the root chakra is going to be our foundation. This is what we built our house on. This is where we build things that are important to us in like the physical world. So this will be finances, security, our homes, our cars, all the things that are a physical representation of how we build stability in our world. So, of course, our foundations are very important for our health and well-being. We want to make sure we build a really strong foundation so that as we move forward into our lives, we're able to manifest what we see as strength in our own selves and find that in others or in our surroundings, or when we just go out to conquer the world. We want to feel safe, secure, and starting with our foundation is the most important. Okay, so let me take a little sip of my tea. It's so quiet. I'm not used to it being this quiet. Oh my God. I don't know what to do with myself. You know what I mean? So we're going to start with just talking about the root chakra, and then we're going to move into a brief meditation. So tonight we're going to do a singing bowl meditation with not only the root chakra, which is C note, we're going to also do E note, which is the solar plexus chakra. So the solar plexus chakra is going to be your third chakra, which lies at the navel. And of course, I probably could have done the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. But the one thing that I do love about the root chakra is, like I said, not only is it for building a foundation, but it's also can be a representation of our strong connection to the things that we are passionate about. Of course, the color red represents fire, but it also represents passion. It also represents drive. It can represent a lot of things. So a lot of times when we have an imbalance in our bottom 3, which is our root, our sacral, and our solar plexus, it's very hard for us to connect in the physical world, and it's very hard for us to manifest the things that we want to come into fruition. So I chose E note in addition to C note because E note is so like near and dear to my heart. For the longest time, right after I had a baby, and I also had a umbilical hernia and I had surgery on it, I felt like I was really disconnected from my personal power. And so in building my personal power, of course, came meditation and just working with myself on regaining what I felt as though I had lost, mentally with personal power. And a part of that was also purchasing this bowl. So it's so funny because it's almost like some of the things that I feel like I need the most, the tools that I need, I should have gotten them first, but for some reason I always get them last. But that's a whole nother story. So, and moving on to my notes, we're going to talk about some of the ways to work with the root chakra, possibly some stones. I did pull out some stones tonight, just very few, but basically just some things. So, intro to the root chakra. So, the body has 7 major chakras, which we've already talked about, but we're going to run through them all and the really cool names of all of them. So root, we already said, was Mulandhara. It's a really different name. Sacral is Svadhisthana. So solar plexus is Manipura. So root, sacral, solar plexus. Heart is Anahata. Throat is Vishuddha. Your third eye is Ajna, and the crown is Sasahara. It's really That one took me the longest to learn, but it's a Sahara, so it's really cool. So root, sacral, solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and then your crown chakra. So these are all your chakras. If you were unfamiliar with them, I have now reconnected you with your chakras. So the root chakra is the base chakra and the first, and it also corresponds with the color red, the element earth, and our sense of smell, which connects us to the physical world by sense. So of course, have you ever been triggered by a memory? Like, say for instance, I'll give you a weird thing. My mother is a she's a hairdresser. I'm sorry, cosmetologist would be anyway, it's the name. But when I was young, my mother used to use a specific type of hairspray. It was by a company called Motions, and it was what you would call oil sheen. Now, most people are not really familiar with oil sheen, but within the Black community, oil sheen is kind of like a spray that you can spray on your hair to give it a nice quick shine and a bit of moisture. So I remember years ago, I smelled, after I was about 14 or 15, when my mother was used this particular spray very frequently. So I want to say it has to be about 15 years later. So I was maybe in my early 30s, and I went somewhere and someone sprayed it, and in an instant, it took me all the way back to my freshman year in high school. And I just thought that was the craziest thing. But it's so familiar with how our senses can really connect us to the physical world, and especially with your root chakra being tied to smell. A lot of our family functions or our family memories, you can be triggered by the smell of your parents, or I'm triggered mostly by the smell of my grandmother, like when she holds my children or watches my kids, and I come home and I sniff them, I'm like, oh yeah, grandma's been hugging you. So it's just a real connection to security and safety. And so that's very important for the root chakra. So moving on. So the color red, like I said, the color red is a good color, right? Red is the color of the blood flowing through our body. It is a fundamental aspect of a human being and the life force that runs within our veins. Red is the color of passion. It can be the color of so many things. It can be the color of fire. It can just really ignite us to feel deeply about things, and it's connected with the root chakra. And lastly, earth. So it's the bottom chakra, and the earth, it connects us with our root chakra. Some exercises that I typically use, and I may be jumping ahead a little bit, but some exercises that I typically use when I feel disconnected with my root chakra is I just go outside and I walk around my home. It works more often than not, and I do it barefoot. I would encourage that if you decide to walk barefoot, you find somewhere with nice plush grass, or you find a beach or somewhere that you can really walk barefoot and enjoy it and not possibly get something stuck in your foot. So that's a little bit of advice for me. Let me grab a sip of my tea. Tonight I'm drinking lemon ginger tea. It's really good. I just love tea. I have so many teas, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so like I said, I always jump ahead on these things. I never know why, but this chakra is associated with security and mental stability, and it grounds us in the world by pulling energy through our minor chakras and feet and legs to balance. So of course, again, like I said, there are a lot of chakras, and the minor chakras are many, but there's also a chakra beneath our feet called the soul star chakra. So it's about 3 feet in the ground, or that's the energetic field that you have, and it goes like 3 feet below your root chakra, or actually I wouldn't say 3 feet below. It goes down beneath your feet. So your root chakra is going to be at the base of the spine, but the soul star chakra is going to be beneath your feet. So with that resonation, like I said, the energy is pulled from the earth and pulled up into our other chakras. If you're starting with the root chakra, it goes there and then it works its way up. And what's so interesting about it is, like, the planet that we stand on has a core that is molten hot lava. And what color is it? You got it. It's red. And so a lot of the energy that is circulated within our planet, people don't realize that you really feed off of nature so much. I mean, something that I always think about is how birds fly, you know, or they don't fly, they are flown by the air, the element air, which, you know, most people think birds are controlling themselves, and not necessarily. Another thing that controls birds is the magnetic field. So if that's off, they're off. So it's really unique how animals understand the connection that we have with the planet, but it seems as though sometimes we're disconnected. So in staying connected, understand how your etheric field is connected, not only by the things you experience, but by the elements around you, you know, from the things you eat, you drink, plants you keep in your home, your animals, the energetic fields of your friends and family. All these things can affect your chakras, okay? So moving on. Healing the root chakra. So this is important. I mean, we have all these cool, fancy things, you know, to heal the chakras. But many things we can do are very simple. So the first one I'm going to mention, I have already mentioned it. Excuse my hair, it's all over the place. I just said, forget it. I'm just going to take it out of the bud. So walking barefoot in the grass or sand to absorb earth energy. I always jump ahead of myself. I'm so excited when I do these videos because I really love sharing these things with you. But absolutely, the earth is our friend. Sometimes we don't treat her as such, but she is our friend. She has everything we need, you know. So it's very good when you have the chance to just take a walk, quiet, slow walk. Pick up some nature, you know, smell some leaves and some things you never seen, explore, take the time. I remember when I went to a meditation retreat when I was going through my yoga teacher training, and we did walking meditation. And one of the things that one of the monks said was, when we walk, they wanted us to envision flowers growing from our feet. This was to slow us down mentally, and this was to help us understand the significance of the walking meditation and how slow flowers can grow, and they aren't in a rush when they are growing. And so don't be in a rush when you're trying to get an energetic intake from the things that are around you. Definitely take your time, go slow, do your best to try and create spaces where you can move a little slower if you need to. Of course, it's not always easy, but it's possible, okay? So, I sound like your mama, okay? So, moving on, grounding visualization exercise. So, a grounding visualization exercise is definitely one of those things that you're going to have to be able to do when you're in a more of a quiet space. So when I say a grounding visualization exercise, this will be something like sitting in a quiet space, taking a deep breath in, slowing yourself down in that moment. If we're working on the root chakra, we want to visualize red pouring into this chakra. We can also visualize earth elements, some things that are really connected to the earth. These can be streams, water, the sound of rain, just anything that'll connect you to some type of earth energy. This is something that you can definitely use to ground the root chakra. Visualization can be hard for some people who have never done it, but it is very possible. There are also a lot of videos that can guide you through it, and there are a lot of, you know, and in the future there'll definitely be some things that I will add that will help you with visualization and even meditation, and trying to take yourself into that place. So I've given you a little bit of information on the root chakra, and I hope it's very helpful. And now I am going to move into a sound meditation for the root chakra. So I hope you enjoy the sound meditation. And yeah, let's do it. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. One more time. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. How do you feel? Good, I hope. So, just a brief summary. The root chakra is our base chakra, and it grounds us into the physical world. And it's going to be where we harness the energy for creating a positive foundation for ourselves. Okay? So, If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in my comments below. I took a few stones out tonight. I want to say I have out, I have so many stones that sometimes I lose track. I want to say this is carnelian, but it's a lighter carnelian. Carnelian is usually really red, but it's like a kind of like a sheer red. This one looks more like a goldish orange. This is red jasper. Red jasper is really good for the root chakra as well. Red jasper, you can see it. And then, like I said, carnelian. And then this is smoky quartz. So smoky quartz is really like quartz that's like a bit darker than regular quartz. So yeah. And tonight I'm wearing aquamarine, and the same on my bracelet, and quartz, and a couple other stones. I bought these so long ago I can't remember exactly what they are. And then I do believe this is blue calcite on my arm. Okay, so like I said, oh, and aquamarine on my earrings. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in my comments below. And have a good night, my love flowers.